the only Gentile in Brooklyn, right?
What? That one I don't think goes
I will
down.
go down to the well. Let the water ring me like a bell. Let the water rock me like a child. For this well will not run dry. For this well will not run dry. And I will go down to the well. Let the water ring me like a bell. Let the water rock me like a child. For this well will not run dry. For this well will not run dry. And I will go down to the well. I will go down to the well. Ring me like a bell. Oh, let the water rock me like a child. For this well will not run dry. For this well will not run dry. And I will go down to the well. Let the water ring me like a bell. Let the water rock me like a child. For this well will not run dry. 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 And I will go down to the well. Let the water ring me like a bell. Oh, let the water rock me like a child. For this well will not run dry. For this well will not run dry. And I will go down to the well. Let the water ring me like a bell. Oh, let the water rock me like a child. For this well will not run dry. For this well will not run dry. And I will go down to the well. Let the water ring me like a bell. Let the water rock me like a child. For this well will not run dry. 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 For this well will not run
Good Shabbos. All right. Usually we have to do that like twice or three times just to sort of make sure everybody's here, but I think we're here. It's really nice to see you, to be singing with you, to be davening with you, you who are here, you who are there, you who are everywhere. I feel like it is fully late fall in Chicago, complete with rain and gray skies and sleet and mud and puddles, all that, the character building stuff that, gave rise to the actual phrase, finding the silver lining, is for weather like this. So I actually was like, okay, what's the silver lining? Okay, what is it? Hey, we're all together inside, and that feels even better on a day like this. Thank you. Yes! Do you know how many days it is until Hanukkah? Because my 5-year-old son does. Tell us. Thanks, Violet. 9 days until Hanukkah. Ready? Oh, soup on a day like today is especially delicious. Oh, having nothing to do with the weather, but enjoying it. Rain or shine, Rabbi Micah shows up. I'm so glad you are here. That was a good segue. Thank you, Gideon. I want to welcome back Rabbi Micah Shapiro for our last Shabbat of the year. We've been building this beautiful relationship with Rabbi Micah since Passover 2021. So Passover 2020 was kind of like a free-for-all, if you all remember that, April 2020. But then by March of 2021, it was like, do you remember this? The vaccines were just beginning to roll out, but everybody was still mostly doing stuff online and in their homes. And so we created a musical Seder together. Rabbi Micah was still at Penn Hillel, and I was here, and we were here, there, and everywhere. And it was the beginning of this beautiful partnership. And so this is like the 4th time this year Rabbi Micah's been here. Yeah? More than that?
I think.
If you count Passover.
No, I think it's been more than that.
Maybe it has.
I hope it has.
I've lost count because they're so great. And Rabbi Micah is going to be leading us through services tonight. And if the music doesn't sound familiar, which if you haven't been to Mishkan in a long time or ever, it doesn't matter because his music is mostly original Rabbi Micah composed music. And so if you're like, oh, I don't know this, that's okay. Nobody here does. And so I was thinking, let's go into it the way that you go into a downpour that you kind of got caught in without an umbrella, where the best way to approach it is just to open your mouth, take it in, enjoy, lean into the moment. You're here. And I feel like if we all do that, we're going to have a great night. So we're going to transition into Kabbalat Shabbat. There's a lot to celebrate tonight in this room. And also I know we have folks who are here who are also struggling. And so this is how we enter into Shabbat, in this space of knowing we don't know exactly where everybody's coming from in this room, but we're here in support and in love. And that'll carry us far. So shall we? We open up to page 2.
Hello. 3rd line down. מקדמה פניו בתודה. מקדמה פניו בתודה. מקדמה פניו בתודה. יזמירות נריע לו. יזמירות נריע לו. יזמירות נריע לו. יזמירות נריע נריע נריע
We're in the middle of 3.
Fourth stanza. A prayer for beauty and sanctuary, strength and majesty in our communal spaces and internally.
return to the middle of 6. I was welcoming people at the door for a couple minutes on the way in earlier this evening. There were a couple folks who came in. Hi, I'm Rabbi Lizzie, by the way, for those who I haven't met yet. And I said Shabbat Shalom to some folks who were coming in for the first time and didn't look like they knew their way around. And they said, "What is this exactly?" And I said, "Oh, well, this is a Shabbat service." And they said, "Uh-huh," with absolutely no recognition of what those words meant. And I love you, Manuel and Alex back there. He just raised his hand. He was like, "That was me right there." It's like owning it. And so I thought, oh, what a wonderful opportunity to explain, what this is. This is like the rabbi's dream, is this moment when, somebody says, "Oh, what's that Jewish thing?" And I said, well, for somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 years, every Friday night to Saturday night, the Jews have a day of rest called Shabbat. And this is the service that begins that day of rest. And then I said, it's very possible that this is the only experience for the next 25 hours that the folks in this room will be doing Shabbat in, or maybe this is the beginning of a 25-hour day. For everybody here, this was a choice to come to this space for a certain kind of rest and restoration and uplifting and connection. And exactly this. So I hope, Alex and Manuel, you've begun to get a taste. And for all of us sitting here, if you haven't already sort of sat up a little bit straighter, taken a deep breath, and exhaled the week that has been, begun to inhale the joy in this room, the harmony in this room, the Shabbat in this room. So we're going to transition into that. If you're not already there, feel free to take another breath like that. And every time you feel yourself going up into your head or wherever you might be going that's not this room, just come back to that. Moshe ve'Aharon ve'Kohanav u'Shmuel bekorei Shemo korim el Adonai ve'hu ya'aneh be'amud anan yedaber aleihem shomru edotav v'chok natan lamo Adonai Eloheinu ata anita el nosei hayita lahem v'nokem al alilotam romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We're gonna stand on 7. Let's do the fun one. Let's do that. The one that Mizmor LeDavid, Havu l'Adonai, Neim, Havu l'Adonai, Kavod va'oz.
Adonai
the original Kabbalat Shabbat was that Psalm 29, which is one of the oldest psalms that we have, and L'chadodi, this poem from the 16th century. And basically, it's how do we enter into Shabbat? It's really, really hard to enter into Shabbat, and we're trying to get our second soul, and that's what we're singing when we say L'chadodi, L'chadodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat Nekabela. Second soul, expand our soul. So we're going to oscillate between the 6th stanza, which is Lo Tevoshi V'lo Tikalmi, shed our shame, we're good as we are. And then we're going to come back. We're going to keep coming from that back into L'chadodi. Let's get our second soul. Let's expand our soul. Let's expand our soul. And we're going to build this chant back and forth. And then it's going to open up into a nigun, a wordless melody, into the 9th stanza, Bo'ī v'shalom. And that's going to be the moment where we get crowned with our second soul. The Shekhinah, the feminine indwelling presence of God, will enter the room and crown us all with second souls, as the mystics teach. And that sounds a little lofty, but really I think the grounded question is, how do we chill out? How do we just feel good in our bodies, feel good as we are? How do we breathe a little deeper? How do we breathe a little easier? And so what this piece that I wrote for L'chadodi is meant to give us a little support in that. A lot of different parts, and so enter it as you're ready to.
The chorus, L'chadodi, is on page 8, and then the verses are on page 9.
L'chadodi. תלבשי ולא תיגעי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תמי. בך יחצו עניי אבי, ונבנתה עיר עתילה. Rise in body and spirit.
Rachel, would you mind opening up that door? Let in the Shabbos queen.
Stanza 9. בואי בשלום אדרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת מקרבה. לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
You can turn back around if you like. I want to draw your attention to the bottom of page 9, where there's some instructions I always find the instructions in Sidurim in prayer books, even though they're usually written in the English language, always feel like they're written in a foreign language. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if you read them, you're not really comprehending. So I'm going to read these out loud. Because Kabbalat Shabbat is a festive service that's said before Shabbat actually begins, and the truth is Shabbat began at 4:01 today. So our timing's a little bit off. But before we consciously bring Shabbat in, accept Shabbat, we're still warming up. But we do Kabbalat Shabbat to help warm ourselves up before we bring in a sense of Shabbat with our next service with Ma'ariv. The custom is that during the week of Shiva, mourners don't come to Kabbalat Shabbat because it is too joyful. And if somebody in your life has died in the last week, this might feel very out of sync with your heart. And the tradition recognizes that. And so has a line here at the bottom of the page, which is what we say to mourners as they come into the room at this point in the service. And so I want to say in particular to Lisa Kornick, who buried her father this week, and to Linda Daly, who buried your mother this week, these words at the bottom of the page, and we can all say them together. Hamakom yinachem etchem betoch sha'ar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the Holy One comfort you among all of the mourners of our people and everyone who has lost someone in this past week. We can all say Amen. Amen. So we can take a seat. And I want to re-welcome you, but in particular to say hello and welcome to anybody who is here for the first time. Is there anybody who is here for the first time tonight? Put your hand in the air. Yes. Oh, no, with enthusiasm. Great. Congratulations. Welcome. We're so happy you are. We the people, we the Mishkan, we love knowing who you are and where you came from because now you're part of us. But truly, if you would stand up and share with us like who you are and what neighborhood you hail from or what brought you here tonight in a sentence, we would love that. We'd love to get to know you. So please stand and we'll just go and quick whip around. Yeah. Yeah, here. Yeah. We'll start over here. Yay! Welcome, Zia. I was gonna say you don't look like you're new. I feel like I know you, but welcome. Hello.
I'm Max. I live in Ukrainian Village, and I had a great time last night, so I came back.
Oh, yay! Amazing.
I'm Jack, they them pronouns. I live in Rogers Park, and I've been hearing about Mishkan for quite a while. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay! Love it.
My name is Quincy. I also use they them pronouns. I started the Exploring Judaism class.
Nice.
Service.
Love it.
Hi, my name is Cassie. This is my first time here on time.
Mazel tov!
First time. I moved here from Idaho about a month ago so that I can practice my religion the way I want to and live out and proud and clear.
Woo! All right. Welcome. What'd you say your name was again?
Cassie.
Cassie. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm listening.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm from Kansas City, and I'm in Chicago studying at Columbia College.
Oh, nice.
Theater.
All right.
And I have some mentors in Maddie, who encouraged me to come to my first Kabbalat Shabbat at Mishkan, so thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yay! Throw it in the back.
I'm Molly. This is my daughter Casey, and Casey asked if we could come to Shabbat.
Yay.
Yay! Right. Your mom was like, I thought you'd never ask. Love it.
Hi, I'm Andy. This is my wife, Lindy, and this is our daughter, Grace.
Woo! You may recognize Grace from our High Holiday video.
Visiting from Venice, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Welcome. We do love Grace. I'm so glad you're here.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm from the Chicago area. I just moved back here from Minneapolis a couple months ago.
Love it.
Welcome back.
Love it. Welcome back.
Hi, I'm Beth. New to the area, live in Lakeview, and very happy to be here.
Great.
Hi, I'm Jude. I live in Rogers Park.
Love it. Welcome. All right, last two.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I live in Highland Park, and I'm here because Gideon twisted my arm.
I hope your arm is okay.
He helped twist it too.
Oh, good.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Lee. I grew up in Rogers Park. I drove here all the way from Lincolnwood. And glad to celebrate Shabbat with you.
It's really nice to celebrate Shabbat with you as well.
Stephanie and Rebecca.
Love it. Love it so much. This is actually our last Friday night service of the Gregorian calendar year. We'll be meeting for Shabbat next Shabbat morning, next Saturday morning at JCYS, which is a space on Lawrence. And that's going to be where our religious school, the Mensch Academy, is kind of taking over services. So if that sounds fun and awesome to you, you'll want to come. And if you're like, children, no thank you. No, I didn't look at you, I swear. Oh, that's funny. Sorry. But if you want to stay home, Stephen, you can. Just kidding. You have to come. Anyway, it'll be a fun morning. And then the following Friday night, which is the night before Christmas, Erev Christmas, the 23rd, Friday night, we'll be having traditional, ritual seasonal foods in our office, Chinese food and latkes. It'll be like night 8 of Hanukkah, night 7? Night 7? Some night. Violet, what night of Hanukkah is it going to be next Friday night on the 23rd? 6. So we'll like BYO menorah, but we do have limited space for that. Our office is not actually enormous, and so if you think that sounds like a fun way to spend that Friday night, sign up now. All of this stuff is on our calendar on the website, and for anybody who does have kindergarten through second graders, and I'm looking at you guys in the back, we're tomorrow night, Rabbi Micah and Rabbi Dina, who will be back in town, are leading up animal pajama Havdalah in the office. So
if anyone has animal pajamas, I'm still looking for a pair. So I came from Cleveland, so.
Love it. Yeah. Love it. And
count because I have a Chewbacca costume for it. Is it my side? Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Okay, great. Wookiees are welcome. We're radically inclusive here. Okay. Like, it says zoo animals, but like our zoo is very open.
Multiversal.
Yeah. But it's so wonderful to have so many folks who are here for the first time and back after a long time. And for folks online, I hope you'll introduce yourselves to each other if you have not already, where you're from and what brought you here tonight. You could literally be anywhere in the world for Shabbat services, and you're with us, so thanks. And it's great to have you. But I do want to say, I feel like around the New Year, this happens like twice a year, at the Jewish New Year and then at the Gregorian calendar New Year, when suddenly people go like, I think I might want more Jewish community in my life, and show up, and it feels really good. And then they come back like a year later at around the same time, and they're like, I said to myself last year that and so I want to put it out to you right now. Like, if you want to do a bold thing and commit and become a builder in this community, like become an actual, like a member of the community, it's much easier to get to know people. Maddie's nodding. You'll immediately meet Maddie, and you'll get to know all of us who work here, the Davening Team, and you'll begin to feel like that you are actually a part of us, that you belong in a different way. And so I want to put that out there as not just a checking it out around the New Year, but like, I don't know, maybe taking a step in. Okay, so we often do a drash toward the end of the night, but actually Rabbi Micah is going to take us into some Torah right in this place, and then we will dive deeper into Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbos.
I'm a nervous public speaker, so I'm going to lean on some music to help me with this. So we're actually going to turn back to the first psalm that we did, and I'm going to do what's, I guess, called a Devar Tfilah. I'm going to give like a word of Torah on the verse that we prayed together, and it's my hope that I'm going to kind of take us through some nerdy Hebrew decoding that's meant to give us a very deep relationship to the verse, and that will hopefully unfold into a blessing for all of us. So what page are we on?
We're on page 2.
We're on the third line, so we're going to dig into the third and fourth lines of page 2. I don't need it. Okay. And let's start just by let's sing the first three words together that we did before. It goes like this. I'll sing it and then we can all sing it back. Nikadma fanav betoda. Nikadma fanav betoda. Nikadma fanav betoda. And then the other three words. Bizmiro narialo. Bizmiro narialo. Let's try it one more time from the top. Nikadma fanav betoda. Nikadma fanav betoda. Nikadma fanav betoda. Bizmiro narialo. Bizmiro narialo. Cool, very beautiful. So it's nice to sing it kind of quieter like that together. So we have the translation, which I didn't look at and I'm not going to look at. No offense to the Siddur, I'm sure it's lovely. Actually, what is it? Can someone call it out? What does it say? Great. So that is a totally good translation. But what I want to do is I want to hyperlink each word for us. So we're going to start with nikadma. And what we do in Hebrew is we find the shoresh. We find the three-letter Hebrew root. And the three-letter Hebrew root of nikadma is kuf, daled, mem, kedem. And sort of, I guess, the most common understanding of kedem would be the modern Hebrew word of kadima, which is forward, and that's sort of the connotation of nikadma. It's like nikadma. Let's kind of, let's nikadma together. It's like kind of let's go forward. Let's kind of step forward. Let's sort of put our shoulders back and stand proud forward. Kind of. It's sort of that's the way I think of nikadma. It's kind of almost like to turn towards. And the way I want to complicate this for us and enrich in it is that kedem is also a reference to the Garden of Eden. It's a reference to ancient times, sort of primordial times, simpler times, rooted times, where we come from. And so this idea that it means the opposite of itself as well, right? So nikadma is going forward, but inside of it is rooting deep down into who we are and where we come from. So the idea being that the way we go forward is by digging into who we are and understanding sort of a depth of where we come from, who our ancestors are, and where our roots are. So there's nikadma, going forward from a rooted, grounded place. The next word, fanav, God's face, comes from the word panim. And this is a really interesting thing. We're going to go towards God's face. The Torah basically teaches us that Judaism basically teaches us that we can't see God's face. Maybe Moses saw God face to face, but that's unclear. And actually, Rabbi Lizzie was pointing out to me that in this Torah portion, Jacob sort of claims to himself that he saw God face to face in some way or another, but barely survived it. Right? So at the very least, were you to sort of confront God's face, it would be treacherous, and more likely, it's impossible. Right? And my favorite teaching about this is why can't we see God's face? Because if we were to see God's face, we wouldn't be able to see God in each other's faces. We wouldn't be able to see God in the world around us. And in fact, being in these concentric circles is intimate, and there's a vulnerability there, and there's a connection there. And I think that seeing God in each other's faces could be like a cheesy platitude, or it could be like a really, really badass prompt, right? Like it's like really hard to do. And so that's what we're charged to do. From that rooted place, nikadma, let's go forward from a rootedness, and let's turn towards each other, and let's see the divine in where we're looking. Betoda, in gratitude. This word also, the root is very, very rich. It shares a root actually with the word vidui, which means confession. Meaning, I think that, when words share a root, we're asked to sort of find their common point. And I think the common point here might be that gratitude is actually quite vulnerable. just like confession, right? Because if we're really grateful for something, if we really, really value something, that means we could lose it. That means that we depend on it. And I think in our individualist society, as someone who is socialized male, like I think there's a lot of different ways in which we just want to be independent and don't actually want to necessarily lead with depending on people. And I think gratitude has an edge of that there. And I think that's why it might share a root with confession. So from a rooted place, we go forward towards God in each other. And we, from there we sort of meditate on profound gratitude from that place. So those are the first three words. And now we'll try the second three words with the B part of the chant. Bismirot Naria lo, Bismirot Naria 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 lo, Bismirot Naria lo, Bismirot Naria 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 lo, Bismirot Naria lo, Bismirot Naria 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 lo, Bismirot Naria lo, Bismirot Naria 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 lo. And so it's meant to kind of, we have all this substance to work with now. We're nikadmaying, we're fanaving, right? We're seeing God in each other's face. We have this profound gratitude, and now we're ready to kathart with zmirot, right? Zmirot, it's often now you hear about like Shabbat Zmirot, and it's actually about singing, but I think Zmirot in the biblical context is actually about the Levites in the temple, who were this amazing band of musicians basically making incredible music in circles to God and with the sacrifices. And so we're supposed to be Zmirot. This is a biblical word, and we're meant to kind of tap into like the ancient ritual of like music and instruments and sacrifices and just getting big with our sound, that nothing can stop us if we really are seeing God in each other, or have that deep sense of gratitude, that deep sense of rootedness. Now we're ready to make real big music together. That comes to the next word, which is naria. And naria comes from the word truah, the blast of the shofar. And this is the verb that we're doing together. We're not singing, we're not praying, we're nariaing together. We're blasting out a sound, a cacophonous, again, cathartic sound that is the foundation of our zmirot, of the music that we're making together. Lo, to God, back to God, right? Lo, and again, lo has a masculine object suffix, right? So it's to him, it would be most directly translated. And I think that's a good prompt for us to think intentionally about how we want to picture God in our life, right? This default to him in the Hebrew language. We get to do whatever we want with that lo, actually. I give you permission to do whatever you want with that lo and think of God in the most expansive terms. G-O-D is a tough word. I think it's a Nordic word. So Judaism has like hundreds of words for God. So really to think about what kind of God you need to be having this catharsis towards from this place of rootedness. So it's my blessing for all of us that we're able to dig into these words together this Shabbat and feel like that we have a profound sense of who we are. Maybe not totally, but like an inkling maybe is more. There's something that we really know about ourselves. There's a gratitude that we genuinely feel. There's connection that we know we have with other people, and that we're ready to be, whether it's through music or some other means, we're ready to be big and joyous with carrying all of that. So Shabbat Shalom.
Wow, beautiful. Shabbos.
Let's try it. Nikad mafana v'toda. Nikad mafana v'toda. Nikad mafana v'toda. Bismirot naria lo. Bismirot naria lo.
I want to invite people to stand. We turn to page 13. Shkoyach. Face east, which is that away. Baruch et Adonai mevorach Baruch Adonai mevorach leolam Baruch Adonai mevorach leolam Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv ha'ravim potach sha'arim. You can turn around and you can take a seat. Alif et hazmanim v'sader et hakochavim b'mishmerat borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or u'ma'avir yom u'me'ivil layla u'mavdil ben yom u'ben layla Adonai tzvaot shemo El chai v'kayam Tamid yivloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Ha'mariv ha'ravim.
We enter into the part of Mariv that is all about love and radical unity. So we start with Ahavat Olam, that we are loved with an endless love. We finish with V'ahavta, that we are commanded to love. And in the middle, we affirm the Shema, that we are all one, that we are connected to each other. So love is the trigger that drives that sense of oneness. And so we're going to sing. This song actually comes from the gospel tradition written by Ricky Byers Beckwith, and the words are, we let the love wash over us, we let it be. And if you want to daven the words on the page, please do as well. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over
we turn to page 17. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת ואמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואין זולתו אנחנו עם Sorry about this microphone. So if you're paying attention to the headlines today, you wouldn't know that something absolutely extraordinary and historic happened yesterday. Multiple extraordinary, historic things happened yesterday. And so I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that Congress passed protections for same-sex marriage in this country. Like, it's going to go to the president's desk. He's going to sign it. Are there issues? Yes. Are we done fighting the battle for LGBTQ equality? No, we're not. But is this an absolutely unprecedented and historic thing? I think it is. I think it is. And something that the author Rebecca Solnit says about progressives is that we don't take time to celebrate the victories. We don't take time to celebrate the wins because there's still so much to do and so many imperfections in the wins that we have. And and then we say, well, it was wrong for this reason. But I just want to say, this is a really big effing deal. So I want to take a moment to celebrate that. And in the context of the set of prayers that we are about to go into right now, because in every service, in the morning and in the evening, there is this prayer, Mi Chamocha, and it is quoting the Torah. It is quoting from the Jews who were liberated from Egypt and watched the sea split, and they walked through on dry land, and they watched Pharaoh's army drown in the sea, and then they sang and they danced for the first time in hundreds of years. And that moment was the culmination of thousands of hours of negotiation behind closed doors, of people despairing and not believing it was possible, but many working toward the possibility of freedom and justice for an oppressed people anyway, even though it seemed unlikely, and civil disobedience, and a collective shift of consciousness such that a group of people actually could pursue a visionary goal and then actually get there. And many people did not live to see it, right? There were 200 plus years of Jews who were slaves in Egypt who did not live to see that moment, who wondered if they would get there, but didn't actually live to see it. And so I just want to hold for a moment that we are living in historic times. Sometimes those times are very scary. They still are. But you know what? In moments like this, it is important to remember that with thousands of hours of negotiation behind closed doors and people working tirelessly toward the cause of freedom and justice for all people, whoever you are, whoever you love, and civil disobedience and protesting in the streets and collective consciousness shift, things do change. And it is important to recognize that. And the Jewish tradition puts this prayer into the morning and evening prayer service to remind us that it happened before and it could happen again. And so don't you dare despair. Despair is not a strategy, the tradition says. And then on the heels of that sense of possibility, that the miracles, what appear to be miracles, could happen. And by the way, they're not miracles. They're human beings working their asses off to make these things happen. But on the heels of the knowledge that the world can change and improve and heal, we then pray for the people in our lives who need healing, and for the places in the world that need healing. And so, as you see, we're on the bottom of page 18. I'm thinking tonight, as we go into that prayer for healing, about the people we have been praying for, for many weeks, maybe months, maybe years. I'm thinking about Brittany Griner, thank God that she is back in this country, and the healing process that this poor woman is going to need to go through after the nightmare she has been through. And that's often how healing works, is that you actually get to the other side of something, and then the healing journey begins. And so just the stages and the process and the prayer that we can offer in recognition of that for the people who we love. So as we transition from Micha Mocha into Hashkivenu, into praying that people should come and go in peace, that the world should be free of famine and plague and sword and violence, that us and the people we love should be healthy, should be able to live with dignity, should be able to love who we love. We'll pause in the middle of the transition of those songs, and I'll invite anybody who is holding somebody in your heart to stand and share the name of whoever it is you're thinking about, and we'll hold all of them with love as we transition from Micha Mocha into Hashkivenu. So we're at Micha Mocha on the bottom of page 18.
Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai,
Ba'elim Adonai,
Mi kamocha, Neda b'kodesh,
Neda b'kodesh,
Celia and Sherry.
Lindsay Resnick. My sister Angela McCoy and my dear friend Ramsey Rickard.
I am Florence.
My mother-in-law, Elaine Shevsky.
My friend Jim Cohen.
Kimberly as a friend.
Julia, Bonnie, and Reuben Wittgenstein.
Uncle Rabbi Singlers.
Continuing to Hashkivenu 19. Hashkivenu Adonai Shalom. Hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. May you help us sleep in peace, and may you afterwards restore us to life. Spread over us the sukkah of your peace.
6 lines up from the bottom. Refuah Shlema, healing of body and mind and spirit, to all of them. May they be enveloped under the wings of the Shekhinah, under the divine sukkah of peace. Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. L'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha l'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. L'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha l'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha l'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha l'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. Shmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu. L'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha l'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha l'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha l'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha. We rise in body or spirit from the Shabbat.
Stand on 20.
Let ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם שמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We now have some space to let all the medicine of the music sink into the healing of the silence that comes after it. The personal Amidah can be found on page 21. Goes 21 to 27 if you're using the book. And if you're not, the words are whatever is on your own heart and mind. The custom is to stand and face east and to take 3 steps backwards. Well, they might be little steps, depending on the row that you're in, and 3 steps forwards again into kind of a new space of your own. And we'll take a few minutes here for personal prayer, and then we'll come back together with a prayer for peace. Bottom of 27. You can stay standing if you want.
עושה ממרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום ממרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Group whistle solo. Ah, yes, the whistle of peace. I recognize that. Oh, say shalom b'mromav, yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei. All right, just Rabbi Lizzie. Here we go, whistle solo.
That was great. Thank you. Thank you for that. We should do that more often. Well, we're standing. We should turn to 32.
Yes.
All right. 32. We're beginning to head in the direction of closing our service. So we face east again. We'll begin with Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשנו בארצות, ולא שמנו במשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. We're on the bottom of 32, 5 lines up from the bottom, although you can just repeat. We can take a seat unless you are in mourning or remembering somebody tonight. We say Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, at the end of every service. And in particular, it's for anybody who has lost somebody in the last week or month or year, or is remembering somebody on the anniversary of their death. And so we'll just take a moment to honor all of the folks who you're thinking about, and in particular, Linda's mom, Arlene, and Lisa Kornick's father, Louis Cook.
My grandfather, Jerry Bogotsky.
In memory of my grandma Anne and my father Noah.
My uncle Marty, who died around Thanksgiving.
It's the 5th yard site of my mom, Minasara Bat Abraham Leah.
And it's my dad's first yard site, Morton Stocks.
My grandma, Sarah Linker. Salem House.
And then I'll say to anybody else whose custom it needs to stand during Kaddish. And Emily, do you have something you're thinking about?
My mother-in-law, Judith Corey.
No. All right. May all of their memories be blessings. Yehi zichronam livracha. Kaddish Yatom is on 34. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra cherutei ve'amlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael bagala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah.
Nevarach le'olam lo me'almaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudsha
Brichu.
le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Amen. Amen. Let their memories be blessings. So I want to thank Linda, who is feeding us all tonight in honor of her mom. Thank you, Linda. Would you like to come up here and lead Kiddush and Motzi with us? You don't have to lead it. You can just stand here with us while we do it. And drink. Yes. I hate to say this, it might be grape juice. I don't know. No, it's wine? All right. So I will invite us to stand. We're going to raise a glass and make Kiddush, which is on page 30 if you want to join us. And then we will bless bread, and then you are invited to stick around and nosh and eat and drink with us in the hallway right out here. Have I missed anything? Is there anything else to be said before we scatter to the four winds? Is Maddie in the room? Yes. Is that little QR code thing out there if people want? Yes. So if you've realized that it's on a table out there. So if you're here and you're not on our email list and you want to be, you want us to know about you, there's a little sheet with a QR code out there if you feel comfortable using it, to let us know who you are and how to send you emails, which we will do once a week and not more. Unless it's the end of the year and there might be one fundraising email. Just saying. We're on 30. Rabbi Stephen, do you have? Oh, you got it, Linda. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit Ki hu yom tehila lemikra kodesh זכר לציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת, עם כל המינאי בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת, אמן לחיים. And so our custom is here to sort of reach in all toward the challah as we bless. And then as it comes around, take a piece, and if you are handed the board, take a piece and then pass the board. Don't hoard the board. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Good Shabbos, everybody.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Sharei, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Sharei, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Sharei, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, ay, ay. Bochem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon,